Hey everyone, happy Thursday. We are going to paint this mason jar. I am Pam Savage with Young at Heart Creations. I look kind of green. My screen looks, I guess it's the reflection off of my green wall. I'm not sure. I hope it's not coming that way to y'all. I'm not sick. I feel okay. I'm not green, I promise. But I am Pam Savage, owner of Young at Heart Creations. I try to go live at least once a week to paint with you. I love all of my followers. You're so special to me. So I try to share a little bit with you each week. So we're going to paint this. Already painted this side of it. Hi, Roxy. Hello. So painted this side of it a few weeks ago. And so now I've got to paint this side of it. I've got 3 orders from a lady, and she wants front and back for teachers. So it's going to be this way on the front. So I'll have fall on the front and some kind of Christmassy or wintry on the other side. So this is the first one that I'm going to do. And hi Sharon. Hello. Hi, Teresa. Y'all say hello when you hop on so I'll know who's here. So we're going to do, I think we're going to do a snowman on this one. So since it's fall on this side, I've got to do something wintry or Christmassy. I think a snowman can be Christmassy. We'll put some, maybe some pine sprigs in him to make him. So I thought I would get 2 things done at once. Get my live done and get an order complete. So I've got orders running out my ears, ladies, and that is what an awesome job to have. I mean, thing to be faced with. I can remember thinking, oh, if I could just sell one, and now I've got orders just coming in everywhere. The craft show is happening in 2-3 weeks, November the 11th here at the Howe High School, and so I'm getting ready for that and trying to get some things painted up for that, and hats, and more hats. So I'm still painting on hats. Hi, April. Hello. Okay, let me get you pulled up over here on my iPad so I can see you when we go in. When I go full mode. Okay, that was a picture. All right, bear with me here. Mode. Okay, and we don't want my voice twice. Okay, I think we're up and running now. Yay. Okay. All right, so, and I'm at 1,620, so I've got 20 new followers since we sent out some happy mail last week. Okay, so I'm going to bring you down so you can see what I'm doing here. And I have had one of those days, busy days. So I'm usually a little more prepared than this, but the only thing I've done is base coated this white. Of course, this side is finished and it's already been sealed. So if I get anything on it, I can wash it off very easily. So that side's good and sealed and ready. But this side we need to go ahead and work on. And I think the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and I'm going to do the top of the jar black for the snowman hat. Now I've not done one of these. So we'll just kind of have to see how it turns out. Now you can do a snowman itself in the center, but I'm going to make the whole thing a snowman face. So let's see how it turns out. Y'all know me. I'm kind of adventurous sometimes. I never know what I'm going to do until I go live. But I kind of have this in my mind today. We do visitation. The elders' wives at our congregation do visitation on Thursday mornings. So we went and visited the sweetest older couple that's in our congregation. Now this is a little big, so I'm going to have to work hard to make sure I keep it in camera. So I was thinking about this because I knew I was going to do my live today. So I was thinking about, okay, what am I going to do? I've got so many orders, and I thought, duh, just paint one of your orders on there and just get 2 things done at once. So that's what I'm doing. And this is an old brush here. So hopefully it's not going to get, it's got some hairs on it that just are really sticking out where I don't want them. So that's not a problem anymore. We just did surgery. You didn't know we were going to do surgery, did you? We just did surgery on that brush. You never know what you're going to get on here. Okay, so I'm adding just a little bit of water to that because it wasn't gliding very fast. There we go. I've got a little pencil line drawn here, how far I wanted it to go down. And if we get anything on the edges, it's sealed as well. So I can just wash it off probably, or go back over it with some black. Okay, so I'm going to stand it up on its end. Sometimes that's a little bit easier if you're needing a straight line. I didn't even pull out a pattern for the eyes. So we're just going to freehand everything tonight. Sometimes you just got to suck it up, buttercup, and go for it. And that's what we're doing tonight. I've got a separate glass of water here for my black. So hopefully I don't dip in the wrong one, because once you dip black paint into your paint cup, you're going to have black water the rest of the project. And usually you can get this in one coat with black, but sometimes after you dry it, you can see some peekaboos, that base color peeking through. So we'll dry it right quick and make sure that that got it good and covered. Hi, Lisa Beck with DLB Creations from Arkansas. I'm glad you finally caught me. Yay. I am. Hi, Diana. We're going to do a snowman mason jar. I've got several orders of these that I've got to get done, so I thought, Miss Lisa, we would just do one live, so that way I can just get my live done and get an order done at the same time. Look at me multitasking. As a crafter, aren't we always multitasking? Is there any other way? Okay, I do see a couple of little spots that peeking through, so we'll go ahead and get one more coat on here. And so the way that I'll hang it is just with the jute string that it came with. That way it's versatile. I won't put a big bow or anything on it. So, I mean, you could Velcro a bow on it so it would be removable if you wanted a bow on one side. But I am in a time crunch, and if she wants a bow after I finish it, I'll be happy to do one, but I don't think she's going to really want a bow. Y'all, and what a nice mom. Her children, there are 3 teachers that, between her children, that are getting one of these door hangers for their classroom door. I thought, wow, what nice gifts. Okay, I think we're good on the black. Now let's get just a little bit of gray, and we'll put our jar lines on there. And so for the teachers' names, I've got to get the name, so I won't put the name on it tonight, but probably we'll put it across the jar. I'm not sure, like on this side, the fall side. I think that's really about the only place I could put it unless I put it down here. So I've got to think about that because we need the name on both sides of it. That's the fall side, so we're working on the winter or Christmassy side tonight. Okay, so that's black. So I'm going to put it in my separate cup so I don't mix it in with water. Look how fast that water is, just so yucky. So I'm going to go ahead and get a lot of that water in there so it'll be soaking, and I'm going to set it completely aside so that I don't accidentally get into that. Hi, Jerry. Great to see you on here. Hi, Gail. Hi, Ashlyn. If you have a business Facebook page, business page that you make and sell items, if you want to name your business in the comments, please go right ahead. So I already base coated it white, and I used this new paint from Hobby Lobby. It's called Crafter's Collection. Hobby Lobby bought out Anita's, is what I've been told. They bought out Anita's paint, Anita's company, and so they have named it now Crafter's Collection, and that's Hobby Lobby's own brand. And the white covered really well, and it's very, very inexpensive right now. I'm sure they'll probably go up on the prices, but kind of an introduction low price right now, and it covered really, really well. So that's the only color I've tried in that brand, so we'll have to see on the other ones. Okay, so now I'm going to take slate gray, and we'll just do some float some lines across here. It won't take much, just a little bit. And for the snowman, you could shade it in a brown. You could do your snowman in a buttermilk color. You could do it just if you wanted to kind of antique it, you could do that. Okay, now you can spritz some water on your project. I'm just going to get it wet a little bit with my brush. And it dries really, now this is a little more than what you would put on here, but under my light, it dries really fast. Okay, so we're just going to go over with that slate gray. I'm just going to dip, I've got an angle brush, and I'm just going to dip the toe of the brush in that gray. And go from side to side where the grooves are. Okay, that's a little bit harsh there, so we'll come back and we'll tone it down here in just a little bit. See if we can get a little bit of it off there. Okay, we'll work on that here in just a minute. Okay, let's do the next one. So you can paint a snowman or pretty much anything you've got. You can paint them on, if it's a surface that hasn't been painted, you can paint on it. Okay, so there's our 2 rivets, and I'm going to go ahead and go across the top. And then we'll go around the edges. So again, I'm just getting it on the toe. I'm really not even blending it on my plate. I'm kind of blending it on the surface as I do it. Sorry, I didn't realize I was out of camera there. Been working with doctors trying to get my stepdad's procedure scheduled, and I'm telling you, they don't mind you waiting. So I've had to call a couple of times, still have not gotten a reply back, so we're waiting on that. Okay, let's go ahead and go under or right above the bottom of the jar lid. I didn't get that one wet first, and I can sure tell it. So I'm going to add a little bit of water to my brush. And just blending it in. Okay, so there's what we have. And let's do the edges. This is a little bit bigger piece than I'm normally working with live, so I'm bumping into things over here. Okay, I'm going to dry what I just did, just to make sure I don't rub it off. Okay, and then just on each edge, you could also just highlight it with a little, with a line brush with just maybe some white or something. You could certainly do that if you're not real comfortable with floating. Okay, but look at the difference. Here's without on the edges, and there's with. Gives it so much more character. Okay, so let's do this side. Okay, make this one a little bit thicker. Okay, and there's our lid. Hi, Karen. Hello, Miss Linda. Hi, Peggy. Your internet is so bad you froze. Replay is easier. Okay, Jerry, I'm sorry. If you are watching the replay, please put hashtag replay so we can say hi. I try to go back and answer all of the comments. It's getting harder, y'all, because there are so many of you, and I absolutely love that. No complaints here whatsoever. Okay, so now let's go around and let's go ahead and shade around the outside edge, and we're going to do that in Colonial Blue. All the paints I'm using tonight are Deco Art, by the way, so it's Colonial Blue. Love this color for so many things. You could do it in gray, you could do whatever color you wanted to do it in. Depends on the look that you're after. I'm for kind of an icy wintry look. Okay, so let's go under this lid first. Okay, making sure all that gray was out of there. Okay, so I got it a little bit damp. And this color's got a really gray tint to it as well. So it does look a little gray at first when you put it on. Okay, I'm going to dry that a little bit. Y'all may hear some talking in the background. Our contractor that's been here doing work on the house is here. So I've got the door closed, but could still hear them down there. Okay, so I'm going to go over that one more time. I want it to be a little bit thicker. more than likely put some pine needles coming out, branches coming out from there. Okay, so there's underneath the lid. So what I'm doing, I'm getting this brush wet, and then wherever I'm wanting to float, I'm getting it moist. You can also, and I use this a lot too, I have a little spray bottle that I'll just spray it down and do it. So either way, whatever you're most comfortable with, whatever you're in the mood for is what I do. Whatever I'm in the mood for at the moment. But this seems to work just fine. And then I get my brush damp. Okay, I'm going to go all the way down. Now that's a very long areas, so I'm reloading my brush. Mr. Pam has been out in the garage. He's making all kinds of little pretties to put in the craft show that we have. I think it's 3 weeks, I'm not sure. November the 11th. Here at our high school, Howell High School. November the 11th from 9 to 4. There's a $2 entry fee. And supposed to be around 70 booths. It's what we typically have, 70 or a little over. COVID kind of slowed things down there for a while, but it's picking back up now. Vendors are back. So I've been desperately trying to catch up and get things done for that. I think next year, and I did better this year about it, but I think next year what I'm going to do, whatever season we're doing, whatever's going on at the time, that's what I'll paint live, but I'm going to be painting Christmas all year long. I love painting it. I never get tired of painting it. So I'm just going to start, probably going to take January off. But I'm going to just paint Christmas all year long, and then I'll be ready for, because I'm also going to be putting more things online. As soon as the craft show's over, I will be posting some more hats online. I got 5 more made yesterday, finished them up. 2 of them were orders, so I couldn't put them in the craft show because I had to get those mailed out. They were back orders. So as soon as the craft show is done, I'll start taking orders again. They'll be in my store on my website. Right now, we don't have anything in the store. Now, we do have templates, line drawings, I guess you would call them. I have line drawings on there, and my snowman face, gingerbread face, scarecrow face, all of that's on there. So you can go in and purchase those if you want them. Hello, Miss Sandy. Hello, hello. Sandy, I'm so bummed, so sad. I do not get to go to Tamara's Live next year. The one that's going to be in Tennessee. I'm so bummed. We have an evangelistic seminar, very important, that we've been planning and trying to get it on the books forever with the speaker. And guess what weekend it is? It's the same weekend as her live. And this will be the first one I've ever missed of her lives. And I'm just brokenhearted. But, I mean, I'm very excited for our seminar. I could have still gone, but I would have had to miss some of the planning and everything for the seminar and getting ready for it and helping my husband. He's an elder in our congregation, and so he'll be very busy with things going on. And I just felt like I needed to be here to help him, and I don't want to miss it. I want to be a part of it, you know, so I won't get to go. Sandy was at her live, the live in Florida, and we kind of helped set up things, and we made a good team. Okay, so I've got the floating around here, all the way around the edges. Now you could come out even further with it. You could put a border around it. So many different things that you could do. Whatever your heart's desire on that. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the eyes. Ugh. I should have gotten a pattern so I could just get them both the same size at first, but we're just gonna freehand it. Tell me to breathe. Trust the process. We can do this. Hi, Lamar. Oh, I bet it's Donna. I just saw Lamar, but I bet it's Donna. Hello, hello. If y'all are newbies, say first time watching on here, just to let us know where you're from. Okay, so to do the eyes, I'm going to do kind of a, to you, it's going to look like a U. To me, it's an upside down U, I guess is what I'm saying. Okay, so we're going to come down just a little bit with the eyes. This will be the cheekbone first. So we're going to put the cheek. Whoops. I kind of quit curving on that. Okay. Now then, you can get, if you want to try to keep them the same height, you could start your points. Okay, this one is at, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we could start this one about right here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So we're pretty close to the edge on that. So there's one, and what do we say? 1, 2, 3. About 4.5. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so there's my point to point. Okay, so we've got them pretty evenly spaced. And that's going to be black, so you don't have to worry about the pencil mark on there. Okay, now let's start. I'm going to start at the top here where I want it. And we're just going to do a curve around. Okay, let's start down here. Okay, there's one. Okay, that'll kind of tell us where to stop here on this one to kind of keep it the same height. Now, the easiest way is on tracing paper to trace out the eye, get one eye, take your graphite paper, trace it on, flip the eye over, and trace it on the other side. That way you'll have an exact size. But that would be too easy for me. Too easy. I had to do it the hard way tonight. Okay, close enough. Okay, and then we're going to do our nose. I like to put the nose started in the center. I'm going to lightly do that. We're going to try something different with the nose tonight too. Okay, there's a nose, and then let's go ahead and put a mouth. I think we'll do the mouth open. So I'm going to start under this eye and under this and finish under that one. Come down just a little. And then we'll put some cheeks. Or some smile cheeks. I don't know. Okay, so that mouth is kind of a little bit sideways, but I'm fine with that. Just gives him a little personality. So we're good on that. Okay, and then the eyeballs. Let me round this one off a little bit more. Makes it so nice having a white background because you don't have to do paint the whites of the eyes. Okay, and then we'll do some eyebrows here in a minute, so that'll work there. Okay, so we're gonna need to get that black again, or we could do blue eyes. Let's do blue eyes. How about that? That blue that we shaded with, let's just go ahead and do his eyes with that. Okay, so I've got a smaller angle brush, and I'm just dipping into that blue that we used to shade with. It's a beautiful blue, isn't that pretty? So pretty. Love, love, love it. And I've just got a poster board under here on top of my table, so that's why it's moving around. And then we'll outline it in the black. I typically do the black eyes with a little bit of the blue around it. So here's where we're going. Hello, Miss Brenda. Thanks for watching. Y'all don't forget to sprinkle out this video. If you like what you're seeing, a thumbs up or hearts or anything like that helps us when we're doing our lives to get our videos out there. Facebook will send them more when they see things like that and help our audience reach to grow. Because a lot of them, even though you're a follower, you may not be seeing my videos. Depends on what Facebook is doing. Okay, gonna have to let that dry a minute because I'm rubbing off wet paint. You could do this with a round brush. If it's easier for you, you could outline it first with the color and then just fill it in. Brush has got a little bitty bristle that's sticking out. and getting paint where I don't really want it. We'll dry these and we'll put a second coat on them. Okay, he's starting to look like a snow person. Okay, let's dry those, put a second coat on them. Oh, and we've also got our fall festival that we do for all of our young people at our congregation. That's coming up on the 28th. Let's go ahead and do this one first. And I'll be doing a painting booth. They're going to be painting candy corns, wooden candy corns. So I'm also getting everything prepped for that. We were going to put our outside Christmas lights up tomorrow because it's supposed to be beautiful weather, and I just absolutely despise putting my I love putting my Christmas lights up. Have to have my Christmas lights out, but I just detest doing it in the cold when it's real cold. So I said, we're both retired now. Let's get them done before it gets cold. It's supposed to be in the 80s tomorrow. So we were all excited. We were going to get it done ahead of time, not have to worry about it after the craft show. And then we remembered. The contractor's coming to tell us if we need a new roof. So if I were to put them out and then they come and start re-roofing the house, you know how many bulbs would end up busted? So I don't get to put them out yet, unless he tells us the roof is okay. We had a hailstorm a few months ago and dented our truck up. We leave the truck sits out. My car sits in the garage, and it really dented it. And several people around here have already gotten their roofs replaced. So I have a feeling we're going to have it replaced, and we're about to put the house on the market in the spring. So we want to leave them with a good roof. If we have to have it replaced, we have to have it replaced. And that'll look good on when we're selling it, new roof. Okay, so there's that. And let's go ahead and dry those. And I went a little high with the blue on that one, so I'm going to come up a little further with this line. There we go. Okay, and I need to get, I didn't get any pink out. Let me grab some pink here. We'll use poodle skirt pink. Put some pink under those eyes. Before we line them black. Okay, So just putting some moisture under there. Ooh, it's still got some blue in it. Let's get that wiped off. Thought I had it clean, but I didn't have it clean enough. Okay. Good as new. All right, let's try that again. Okay, I think we're good. I think it's clean enough now. Okay, so I'm just going to go right under that eye. And then we're going to line it with black, so the pencil mark will disappear. Okay, so let's do the same thing over here. And again, that was Poodle Skirt Pink, but you could use any pink. Are y'all working on projects? Oh, I know the Poodle Skirt Pink. I use it for a lot of things. Hi, Renee. Okay, let me get a little more water there. Okay, I'm just blending it down. Add a little more on that side. Okay, while I've got that pink, before it dries, I want to do some cheeks there, smile lines, smile cheeks, I don't know what you call them. Okay, so I'm going to take my brush, my Dollar Tree makeup brush, not going to put any water on it. Going to get it down in those bristles. Then I'm going to get most of it off. And I'm going to get it on my hand off. And when it's not cool anymore to the touch, I know it is ready. And I'm just going to lightly get some cheeks on here. Love, love these brushes. And they hold up so well. Okay, good enough. And then I'm just going to dump that in the water. I'm going to wash my hand off. That was the medium size. We're next to the largest. Here's the large one. Here's another size. And then there is the tiny one for little. That one's a kind of an angle brush. These are filbert shaped. And I love them. Dollar Tree. Love, love, love them for shading and highlighting. Okay, so there's the cheeks on that. Now, while my black is still wet, but looks like it's dried on there. So let's get a little bit of fresh black, and we will outline our eyes. I posted the question on here yesterday or day before. You're painting Christmas pieces, yay! On snow. Who likes snow? Who doesn't like snow? I like one pretty beautiful snow a year, and then I'm good. I'll take two if you know, if we get two, great. But at least one pretty snow a year, which we don't get. We rarely get. But when we do, oh, I love it. Mr. Pam, he can do without any snow whatsoever. He's not a snow person. Might be a little different now that he doesn't have to get out in it. Now that he's retired, he doesn't have to try to drive to work and get there through all the traffic. I love the snow. I just don't like the cold. So somebody tell me how we can get snow, but it still be warm. Okay, so there's our first. I've got a little bit better brush. That one's trying to separate on me. Okay, and let's go ahead and do this one. Okay, now let's do around the eyes. Let's go ahead, we'll do the around the inside first. I have to hold my breath when I do this. I'm using that tiny little 10-0 Master's Touch from Hobby Lobby. Okay, I see a little spot of blue that I missed. Nobody else would see it, but I saw it and I know it's there. So I gotta fix it. Now remember, that's just pencil mark there, so if you get off a little bit like I just did, that's fine. You can go back and erase the pencil. Or paint over it. Okay. Let's see if we can, I got that a little bit not round enough, so I'm just going to paint over it with white. And voila. Voila, is that a word? Hi, Vicki. Thank you. I can be sweet sometimes. Okay, and then we'll do some eyelashes and some eyebrows, but let's go ahead and get this other one done. Okay, that one went a little smoother. This is kind of almost chalky feeling. My hand's not gliding across it like it normally does. And then we'll put centers in the eye. Okay, yeah, let's do the other side. See if it's easier if I come down. There we go. All right, let's do some little eyebrows. Now you could do just straight lines. You want to be careful and not have them pointing in, or they look a little mean. Eyebrows can totally change the expression that you're going for, depending on where you put them. The direction you have them going in. Okay, let's have this one coming a little more. Okay, now let's do some eyelashes. And we're just going to flick out to the right on this one, and then opposite direction on the other one. And I do long, short, long, short. So long, short, long, short, long, and out of paint, short. And you can even go back in and fill some little even shorter ones back in to make them look fuller. And then one out to the center, one up, and one down. Okay, so without that and with that, look at the difference just those little lines make. And you could come all the way down with the eyelashes if you wanted to, all the way around on the outside. Just your preference. Okay, so now we're going to go the opposite direction, and I'm going to turn it a little upside down so it feels a little more comfortable. So we're going to go to the left this time. Long, short, long, short, long, short. And maybe some little tiny ones in between. Okay, so kind of straight out and up. And out. Darken these up a little bit. Okay, now for the mouth, I'm going to go with my long script liner. It is, I believe, a 30 aught. And we're going to do the mouth. I am not crazy about this mouth. The more I look at it, the more it's bugging me. That's what erasers are made for, right? And then I'll paint over where any of it shows. But it just was just a little bit too crooked for my taste. Okay, so I'm going to turn it upside down and go from cheek to cheek. Okay. Now, okay, I think I like that better. Okay, let me get my long brush. Whatever I just did with it. There it is. You've got to help me tonight. My brain is not all with it tonight. You use voila a lot? Good. Okay. All right, so I'm not crazy, huh? Okay, so we're going to dip in our black, and I'm going to add a little bit of water to it because it has dried out just a little bit. So I'm really loading my brush all the way almost to the ferrule part, but not completely. Okay, and I'm just getting the outline on there, and then we'll fill it in. Okay, now let's do the top half. I'm going to start right where it connects. And notice how I use my arm, not my wrist. Okay, now let's fill it in. And this is just an old angle brush. It's almost lost its shape. But I have a hard time throwing brushes away. Okay, let's smooth it out. Okay, I'm going to use my small brush to get up in there. We'll switch so that I'm not getting it out of line. Y'all, we've been in this house almost 35 years. And I've been thinking about having to pack everything up and move it. Oh, especially this room. Maybe instead of a paint party, I should have a packing party and y'all can all come help me pack. Wouldn't that be fun? Contain your excitement. All right, let me get a little bit smaller brush to get in those tight spots. So I'm gonna get just a little round. And we'll dry it right quick and see if there's any spots we need to go over. And we need to do the little smile lines. I need to come up a little further with this one. And I think we need to come down a little thicker on this side. Okay, I'm still going to go a little thicker on this side to kind of even it out. We need some more black. About out of it on my palette. Okay, much, much better. I was just looking a little wompy jawed there. Fill in a couple of spots. And then he needs a tongue. But I'm going to let it dry really good before we put that tongue in. And you could just leave it at a just a smile line. You don't even have to do the open mouth. But this is so long that I thought it needed something to kind of balance it out. Okay, so we'll do some touch up on that after it dries. But let's go ahead and put the twinkle in his eye. And then we will do the nose. While we're doing the twinkle in his eye, let's go ahead. This is what I'm going to try different that I've never done before. What color? Oh, what a cute face. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Katie. Thank you very much. So typically I just go with Canyon Orange and put that nose on there, but a lot of people use coral first to get their orange to cover better. So let's see how that works. I just want to try it tonight and see what it does, if it makes a difference. So this is coral blush. So let's put a little bit of that under there and see what we get after we put that under and then put the orange on. Ooh, but you know what? We better dry this black a little bit or I'm going to have black everywhere. So it'll look funny at first because it's not orange. But we'll see what it does. And I don't think it'll take much. Looks funny with that coral, doesn't it? Looks like a carrot that kind of had iron deficiency. Hear the dogs barking outside. I sometimes wonder if they can hear me talking out there. I don't think so. But they don't bark until I get on here. But it's our neighbors. It's not, we don't have any animals. Grand dogs that come see us. But, I mean, they rarely ever bark. But when I get on here, and it may be that they can see me, I'm upstairs, but I have the windows open and my bright lights on, so maybe they're barking at that. Okay, so we're going to let that coral dry while we're doing the eyes. And then we'll get us a pretty carrot nose. I already said we need some white to do the twinkle in his eye. Twinkle in his eye is the same, the basic for my snowflakes, only you add dots to the ends of the snowflake, and we only put one dot in the center of the eyes for the just the twinkle part. Okay, and I'm going to do it upside down since we've got that nose drying there. So I've got my white. I'm going to go with my small liner brush. And at Tamara's Live, I was trying to explain to them how to do the best way to do this snowflakes. And so think of it as a TX flake. TX. And then I said, a dad joke. I said, instead of a TX, think of it's not a T-Rex, it's a TX. So there you go. That's your joke for tonight. Okay, so we're going to make a long T. Almost fills up the whole eye. And then you're going to do an X, a smaller X, right in the middle. Okay, now if we were doing a snowflake, now I'm going to put a dot in the center here. If we were doing a snowflake, we would put dots on the ends of each of those strokes. You could even put 2 dots or, 1, 2, 3 dots. But we're not doing snowflakes, we're doing the eye. Okay, same thing over here. We're going to do a long T. First one almost fills up the whole eye. And then a smaller X, TX. And then you can use the handle part of your brush. I have a set of daughters that I got at Hobby Lobby. Has 6 different, I had 3 different ones, has 6 different sizes on there. So I'm just going to use that. I'm going to dip it in my white. And you've got to remember not to run your arm or hand across these because they will take a little bit to dry. I like to let mine, I don't like to heat dry them until they've kind of set up a little bit, because if you do, it tends to get too hot. And just like a cake that you take out of the oven too early, they kind of cave in. They kind of collapse. So I just leave them alone. Let's go ahead and work on that nose. Here's what we're going for, something similar to this. I did this one a while back. So see the difference? Here's a snowflake with dots. Same thing, I just put dots on them. And it's cute if you just put 2 dots on it. Makes it look a little fuller. So this one has the black eyes. So you can do it either way. Okay, well, let's go in with our Canyon Orange. And see if it covers way better. Hi, Miss Crystal. Hi, Jean. Couldn't remember if I'd already said hi to you or not. So we know Crystal's answer to the snow question. She's not a snow person. This is the only kind of snow she likes. It's when they're painted on a door hanger. Okay, that makes it very bright. So that was coral blush under it for under orange first. And I'm sold. So any kind of a coral color under your orange first will give you a pretty coverage. It'll take a second coat, but just makes it so bright. Sometimes with the orange, you're having to do 3 or 4 coats, depending on the orange and the brand that you're using. But putting that coral underneath it first really helped. I'll show you the difference. Okay, and then once we get it shaded and highlighted, I think it's going to be really pretty. Oh, now I've got to remember those dots are wet. Got you talking and wasn't even thinking. Almost put my hand across them. So don't want to do that. Makes a mess. I usually wait until last to do those. Okay, let's dry that. But I will usually wait until last to do the dots because they do take longer to dry. I'm going to heat set them just a little bit. I don't want to get them too hot. Okay, and let's go in with a second coat on this. Got a little bit of orange there. I'll have to touch that up. Oh, that is much richer with that coral underneath it. We've been looking at houses in our area since we're putting ours up for sale and going around and looking at it, looking at several different ones. Of course, the ones I like are always out of our price range. I've got a steak taste on a bologna budget. I'm the same way with cars. I don't try to be, but we'll see a car going down the highway and I'll go, oh, I really love that one. And David will go, you could pick them out of the most expensive ones out of anywhere. Not even trying, not even knowing what they are, anything about them. I just can't help it. I know good quality, I guess, when I see it. I think he instantly looks like a snowman when you get the nose on. Because honestly, with the eyes and everything, it could still be almost anything. But you get that nose going, and that's when he takes on the snowman look. And I'm getting orange everywhere. What did we ever do without baby wipes? Okay, I think I got everything covered. And I want it to be completely dry before we do some highlighting on it. Put a little bit more right here at the end. So that did make a difference. So there's your tip for the night. Put blush. Put coral blush or any kind of coral color under your orange first. And you'll get a much prettier coverage, color, brightness. Okay, so I had some of that orange left over and I just went ahead and put it in my back end so I'm not wasting it. So let's get this good and dry. And I've always got a few little touch-ups that I need to do with the white. I'll go back. But to do the dry brushing on it, with the makeup brush, it's got to be really, really dry. You get too cold? I know, Crystal. I'm trying to figure out how to get snow with warmth. Haven't figured that out yet. Okay, so I'm going to take, I like to do apricot or tangerine is a good one. So let's use tangerine. This is some of that Hobby Lobby's Crafter paint. It's a little thick. So far, I like the white that we used. Okay, so I'm going to take this size of the makeup brush from Dollar Tree. And we're going to get it down in those bristles. And then we're going to get most of it off on my hand. I do it this way because it just gives me the right coverage that I need. When it's not cool anymore to the touch on your skin, then you know it's ready. when it's not showing much at all. Okay, and let's take and just right down the center. And we're going to layer it up. Okay, I'm going to go not back into the full color, paint puddle. Get a little bit more on here. Yellow's also pretty to do this with. Okay, look at that pretty glow that it gives. I'm going to round it up just a little bit. Okay, in the water that goes. Wash my hand off, and then let's do some shading on there. And for the shading, I'm going to go with, you can do brown. Burnt umber's pretty. I'm going to try this burnt orange. I think it's going to be dark enough. If not, we'll go with brown. We'll try it and see what we get. Okay, so I'm going to get it wet. Get it on the toe. Is that the brush I was using a minute ago? I think it was this one. Okay, and I'm coming right where those curves are. I'm coming up and over and then down all the way into the carrot. And that gives it the sections. Okay, and that was burnt orange. And I do like it. But again, you could use the burnt umber or any kind of brown. So everywhere there's a little hump, a little section, come all the way down, almost into the center of the carrot, and we'll do the same thing on the bottom. It's not going to matter much here on the end, on the tip, because we'll go over it with snow, but you don't know exactly where that snow is going to cover. Man, that changes it. That one little technique changes it so much. Okay, so we've got the top done. And that also makes that highlight show up that we did down the center. Okay, now let's do the same thing on the bottom. And we're going to come up. Here we went down on the top, but we're going to come up on the bottom. Okay, and then all the way across. And if you don't get it dark enough the first time, you can let it dry and go over it just a little bit. Okay, so there's that pretty nose. I just love doing them that way. I think it adds so much. Let's see if I've got some of that. I do. My paint had dried. That's gray. I want the blue though. See if we got enough blue under that dried puddle to do a little bit of shading behind the nose so that it looks like it's not just floating in air. Okay, and I'm wiping a little bit of it off, softening it up. And if you get it too dark, too much on there, you can always go back over it a little bit with the white. But this makes it look like his nose is stuck into his face and not just floating on it. Okay, and I've still got that white. So while I've still got that white wet, that one's got a little too much black in it. Let's take just a round brush. Just gonna get some white on the tip of it. And let's just make some snow. So I'm gonna go all the way across the tip and then come down some. Make it look like it's dripping. Okay, so there's snow on the end of his nose. All right, let's get some branches, pine branches on here right quick, and then there'll probably be a few little other details that I'll do around here. Still got to put the tongue on and do a little bit of cleanup on it. And then her name's going to go up here. So we've got the fall on the front and winter on the back. So now I'm going to take, this is actually apple barrel, and it's melted chocolate. Any brown will do for some branches. And I'm going to take my, let's see where my long liner brush went. The brushes are disappearing on me tonight. Okay, we'll use this one. So this is just another long liner. Oh, there's my other one. It's short and it rolls under things and I don't see it. Okay, so we're going to just make some pine branches coming out. You could bring his eyes in a little bit if you don't want them that far apart. I purposely put them a little further apart so that we could get some pine branches in there. So no rhyme or reason. I'm just going to make some branches coming out. And we can make one go a little bit longer. From the, then you want little branches coming out from those branches that you just did in all different directions. Okay, let me look how that looks center-wise. I think we need one more over here. And then we're going to start with a dark Hauser green. Let's see what I got here. Hauser dark green. But let's dry that brown so that it doesn't smear everywhere. I'll probably do the tongue off camera, but here's what the little tongue looks like. We'll see if we have time. We might. Okay, so now I'm going to take my small liner brush. You can use any small round, but you want it really thin. I always start with the darker green first and then go to the lighter green when I'm doing foliage or pine needles, because usually, typically, the newer growth that's coming out is lighter. So start with the dark first. So I'm just loading up my little liner brush. Okay, and doesn't really matter where we start. Let's start over here so we're not running our hand across it. So let's go up here first. And I get my paint a little bit watered down. And you just start flicking out almost like eyelashes. But I like them to cross over, going in different directions. And I always put one coming out of the end of the branch. Trying to get it where you can see it. And then I'll go kind of backwards. So forward and then backward, just to kind of crisscross them. I always get the darker ones a little thicker, and then not so much with the lighter colors when we start putting in the lighter colors. Okay, so we're going to go, I'm going to start with this one and then we'll come back up here. So I'm going to go down to the end of the branch, forward, forward, and I'm loading frequently. Now I'm just going to cross over these branches. And then once you get the hang of it, it's pretty quick. Now it takes a little longer on a live because I'm trying to explain what I'm doing. But it really does not take long at all. I've got even different colors of this because some of the paint's really watered down. But some of it is, I go into the thick part that has not been watered down, and that gives it different textures. Okay, so we're going to come out, forward, forward. You can also do this with a flat, scruffy brush, one that doesn't really have its shape anymore. Just gives it a more of a Douglas fir look. Okay, so all of those are forward. Now let's come back a little bit. And then go back over those. Okay, and just keep going until you get each one of them done. And then I know pine trees do not have berries on them, but especially if it's Christmassy, I like to put the red berries on. And I find it easier, instead of pulling the needles in, you get a more realistic look if you paint out away from you. I'm trying to keep my lives now at 2 hours or under. That's what Facebook wants us to do, so I'm a slow painter, so I don't always get it completely finished, but enough to where you can see. If you wanted to go in and do one yourself, you would be able to. Okay, so always start going out the end of the branch, and that gives you a starting point. You could put all kinds of things up here on his hat. I have to put a name, the teacher's name. But you could put a little red bird, a little mouse. I will put some snow up here coming down off of the hat too. Okay, now I'm going kind of fast, just so I can try to get done here. But you could use this method, these pine branches, on so many of your things that you're painting, all of your projects, just to spruce it up a little bit, make it look a little more Christmassy. I added a little more water because that was getting a little thick. And then when we put the lighter green on, it really looks so pretty. Also, I will put snow on the branches. Okay, let's put a little more going up this side. Me too. Hi, Sue. Hi, DJ. Hello, Miss Jackie. I just love the pine branches. And you can make them go so many different directions. You can put blueberries in them, red berries in them. Anything goes at Christmas. Even though pine branches do not have berries in them that I know of. When you're painting, there's no limits. You can do whatever you want to. And then when you do the lighter color, there's not near as many strokes. Because you're just kind of highlighting. And I like to use, you can use the Hauser Light green, but put a second layer, the second layer, and then go back in with lime green. But I think I'm just going to go in with the lime green today, just for time's sake. Okay, so I'm kind of going back over those backwards, and then coming back out with them. Okay, so there's our pine needles. Let's put some lime. I think it's lime. I've got 2 or 3 different bright colors. Let's see what I've got over here. Okay, this one is Ceram Coat, and it is apple green. Pretty much the same thing as lime for deco. And I've got some lime around here somewhere from Deco Art, but I was using it on something else, and I don't know where it is, so we're gonna go with this. Okay, so I'm not going to water it down quite as much. And let's start over here. Now this may not show up on camera for you real well, but oh, it makes such a difference. And again, you're not going to put as many, you're just putting some highlights in there to make it look like some new growth. Okay, look at the difference. Here's, this side's got some highlights in it, the other does not. I don't know if you can see it on camera or not, but just gives it another pretty layer. And then once you get the snow going on there, just makes you want to go outside and look for some snow. Smell the pine trees. Listen to them, the wind blowing through the needles. Okay, I'm getting a little dramatic here. Must be getting late. Drama. But again, you could go in with the second lightest color, like that Hauser Light, and then with this, and you've just got a whole nother layer. Okay, I think that's enough of that. Let's put a little snow, and we'll just take that round brush that we were using a minute ago to put it on the hat. Just going to dip in some white. And just where the branches kind of curve up, wherever you think snow might accumulate on the branch, just put a little on there. Now it doesn't show up quite as good as it would on something else because our background is white. But if you kind of make it thick on there, you can get the hint of it. Okay, and while we're doing that, let's go ahead and do the top of the hat, and then we'll put some berries on right quick. Let's see, I've got I'm just going to use a flat brush to put the snow across the top. And I'm just kind of pouncing it on. I want some of it to come down. Putting it on pretty thick, and then I may even go over it again once that dries. Now this is kind of rocking because of the 3D letters, fall, that are on the back side. Okay, let's dry it a little bit, and then we'll put a little bit more. Hi, Pam. Nice name, by the way. Now, I do charge more when they're double-sided. Like if I was going to charge $35 for the front side of this one, doing just one, I would add $10 or I think it's $5 and charge $40. Just depends on the piece and how much detail you've got in it. Let's put a little more white out. Okay, I'm doing a second coat on here because I really don't want the black showing through. I just speckled some white on there, but you could do that. You could splatter some white on there on purpose. So I'll have to touch that up with some black, but we're good. Okay, now I'm not gonna, normally I would put it on the top of the hat as well, but I don't want it to show on the fall side of it. So I'm just gonna leave it on the front. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that alone. And then Mrs., I don't remember, there's 3 different teachers, so there's 3 different names. That are going on there. And I'll get probably more detailed down here and do some shading under the mouth. Not completely sure yet. Let me grab some red. I'll use some Tuscan red. Really like the Tuscan red. It covers really, really well. Okay, so I'm going to use the end of this liner brush and make some big berries. Let's see how this one works. Yes, I think that'll be perfect. So I do 1, 2, and 3. So I do them in groups of 3, making those a little bit smaller. This one a little larger. And then maybe down here. Now those will have to dry, and then I'll put a white highlight on them. And I will shade the bottom of them with a little bit of black so that it'll make them really stand out a little bit better. Okay, to do the tongue, I like to do, I'll go in and put some white first just to get the tongue where I want it. So I'll do like an M. It's like a little M. Fill that in with white. This wood is so squeaky. Okay, I'm going to size up to around my son that is in preacher training school. They have 2 French bulldogs. They're about, they got them Christmas, so they're about a year old. Well, they got out in the yard the other night in the wee hours of the morning. They needed to go out and potty, like at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, I think is what they said. I may not have the time right, but they both got severely, heavily sprayed by a skunk that was in the yard. So both dogs. They have had such a time. Everything's stinking in the house. Your eyes water when you get close to them. So I told them to try tomato juice. I've always heard tomato juice helps. They've washed them and washed them and washed them, and it still is in their fur. Ugh, just can't imagine. They're indoor dogs, so they don't put them outside except to go potty and play a little bit. So I just can't imagine having to deal with that. Okay, so base coat the tongue in white. Oh, I love snowmen too. There's so many different ways that you can paint them. So many different ways. Okay, so we've base coated in white, and let's just take that Tuscan red and go right over it. You could also do gray under that red. Might cover a little bit better with the gray under it, but I already had the white that was still wet, so just went with it. And I will line back under the tongue with some black so that it looks like it's in the mouth and not hanging out of the mouth. let's dry that and put a second coat on it. And then we'll put two little highlight lines at the top of each section. Puppy dogs are still barking. There may be a skunk out there. We get them every now and then. Okay, so here's what we've got so far. If I can hold it back here. Let's put, well, I've still got some white that's wet out here. Let's go ahead and do those highlights. Little bitty, but it makes a difference. Okay, and then I need to go under it with black. And I need to clean up my pencil marks. Okay, I think those berries have dried enough that I can use this on them to get them dry enough to do the highlights on them. I don't want to hold it too close. Okay, so with this tiny little brush, I think it would be fun one year to make your own Christmas cards. Wouldn't that be fun to design it and then have it printed? Okay, so there's with the little highlights. And I do want to shade a little bit of black. I have a tiny little number 2 flat brush. And I'm going to try to shade a little bit of black on the bottoms of those berries. So I'm just going to get it right on the corner. Oops, too much water. Okay. See if you can see that. Alrighty, let me bring you up here. Okay, now remember it's going to have a name up here. I've got a few more little details to add to it. But I think that's a cute little double-sided. Fall, winter, and the berries did give it a little bit, and the pine did give it a little bit of a Christmassy look. So I may go through, I think I'm going to shade it a little heavier on the edges. But isn't that pretty? And again, you could also do the black eyes. So whatever you wanted to do, that's up to you. I even had a lady at a paint party do green eyes, and they were so pretty. So that's it for tonight, ladies. Hi, DJ. Good night. Okay. All right, ladies. So that's all we're going to do tonight. But any mason jar, anything you have, you can make a face out of it. Santa face, gingerbread face, penguin face. There's just so many different ways that you can go with it. So I've got a little more detailing, but I'm going to get off of here for tonight. Go eat some supper with my hubby, with Mr. Pam. And this one will be done. So that means I've got one done. Let me show you the one we'll do probably next. I don't know if I'll wait till next week. Okay, so this is the Christmassy side. It says Believe. I did add a snowflake on the hat, and it's got, I don't know if you can see it, it's got diamond dust for the fur, really sparkly. So I'll have to do something fallish on this side. This comes out, so I'll have to do something fall, some pumpkins or something on this side. It's already base coated in buttermilk. So the base coating's already done, so I've got to decide what I want to put on this. Probably some pumpkins here. So that one will be the next one of those I paint, and then I've got one more to do, and then they'll be finished. So that'll be an order complete. Okay, good night, everybody. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Enjoy the warm weather tomorrow. We're going to be 85 or 86 tomorrow here. So that's really nice in almost November. So you never know around here. But thanks so much. Don't forget to sprinkle the video out and help me get some more followers. I would love it. If you haven't clicked that follow button, be sure and do that. And be sure and go in and click to get all notifications when I do go live. Thanks a lot, y'all. I appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out with me. Good night.